You want to make it big on YouTube? Well, careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Hello, it's ready.
Hey guys, welcome to a new video.
Hello, Foodie Beauty.
Hello, girl gang. Happy Friday.
They saw my tum-tum.
The moon landing didn't happen.
Mods?
Are you actually gonna wear that?
Sorry, but like, ew.
Did she spray Pam on the food?
You're lolcows. That's what you guys do.
Hey guys.
Hey, Amber.
Nobody's gonna tell me what I can and can't do.
Her face brings out the rage in me.
My content is boring.
Hey folks, what's good? I'm Deets, and I am throwing out my usual intro today because we're going to talk about some toxic internet nonsense. So get those learning caps on because we are diving headfirst into GorlWorld. And one side note, you may have already noticed that I'm using quite a few clips from many different channels across GorlWorld. So I just wanted to say that all of the sources I'm using for each of the clips in this video will be listed in the description below, so all credit is given where credit is due. I honestly don't remember how I first came across this wormhole of niche drama, but one day, somehow, and in some way, I took a step off the ledge of sanity and into this realm of toxic relationships and narcissistic personalities.
People are gonna say that I'm making this about me, but when I found out, I could not stop crying.
I mean, it is just full of false accusations and untreated mental health conditions, emotional instability, and betrayal amongst friends.
I put some music with it, and it was like seductive. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I had an OF, it would pop off on there.
Illegal substances.
The only thing I'm on right now is T. H. C.
Just so many lies. And man, even this one event that gives whole new meaning to the term cat burglar.
It's okay to do this to someone else. Steal someone's cat. I'm glad you did this. You know why? Because you're going to be arrested. Okay? This is harassment. So you have until tomorrow.
It's not harassment. It's not harassment. You came onto a public platform and said, I'm giving my cat away. Who wants her?
What they did is fraud.
That's not fraud. That's not fraud. No, that's not fraud. Fraud is what you were trying to do in Kuwait with your papers.
You guys, that's hectic.
And it all started with these completely unrelated YouTubers who started vlogging their lives over 10 years ago. Now, please heed my warning. I'm not actually recommending that you watch GorlWorld. In fact, I'd probably would say don't. Just like stay away. It's really toxic and it's upsetting.
When we went to go sit down, there was this girl. To me, it looked like she was maybe like 50 pounds bigger than me. Why is she eating out? I almost wanted to grab her and just be like, eat healthy, lose weight. And I was almost mad at that girl for being there.
It's frustrating and it's gross. Honestly, it's really, really dark.
In Amber's mind, Emily wants the best for her.
What is this again? Fruit roll-up
With vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
But Emily's actions, in the very few vlogs we've seen her in, don't say to me she wants Amber around for a long time. It says she's a feeder and that she's dangerous.
So maybe consider this video one of those I experienced GorlWorld so you don't have to kind of things, you know? But the thing is, I do use this channel to tell you about the things I find on YouTube. And somehow I found this. So, yay! Right then, here we go. Now, just thinking about making this video, it made my brain hurt. Like, no joke. There is no easy way to just quickly sum up GorlWorld. I mean, it's existed for over 10 years, and that's just history, you know? That doesn't even begin to touch on the dynamics and human behavior. So what I'm going to do today is actually just try to give you like an overarching, big picture kind of introduction to the ecosystem. So I'm talking about the different ways in which people interact with GorlWorld, whether that be as a character, a side character, a reaction channel, or just a viewer.
What do you mean tomato emoji?
And this is not going to be a deep dive into the history and lore of everyone involved. I repeat, this is not going to be a deep dive into the history of GorlWorld.
I think everybody hates my guts right now.
We would need to be here for like 24 hours if we were going to do that anyway, which we are not going to do. If you find yourself still curious and want to learn more,
I have.
I am going to give you some recommendations on where to start. So hang with me on that. One last note, and then I promise we'll get going. I just want to say that as a channel that usually recommends content, I know that I'm kind of stepping into some dangerous territory here.
When did I become such a blackie? Don't say that.
But the caveat is we're looking at it from a distance. You know, I'm not deeply entrenched in GorlWorld myself. I barely scratched the surface. But I do think it's fascinating in some ways, especially if you look at it, from an outsider's point of view. GorlWorld becomes, this decades-long case study of the complexities of human behavior.
That I'm addicted to cocaine.
And it's wild. With that said, I'm going to keep my own personal opinions out of it.
Sure, Jan.
Just give you the facts and go on this really wild ride. So let's get going. I promise. We're doing it now. Let's go. So before it was GorlWorld, it was just a couple of completely unrelated YouTubers who started vlogging their lives. Each one of them have their own ecosystem for sure, right? They have their own dedicated viewers and supporters, haters, reaction channels, and yes, both of those ecosystems do overlap in a nice Venn diagram, so a lot of people do pay attention to both. Those two people are Amberlynn Reid. I feel like she kind of was the queen of GorlWorld for a while there. She kind of kicked things off as far as everything. And then the other main character is Chantopolis. She's probably more well known as Foodie Beauty these days. You might know her as, Everyday Miriam or Chantopolis. There's like 12 different names she's used. Right now, she's Foodie Beauty. There are also a few other people who, some might agree, some might disagree, are part of GorlWorld. Those include Eugenia Cooney, Nikocado Avocado, maybe even Glitter and Lasers, and even at one point the Slayton sisters. Right now, there are two main characters that are prominent. As I said, that's Amberlynn Reid and her Amberverse, and Foodie Beauty and Chantopolis. Together, they make GorlWorld. Okay, so Amberlynn Reid, Foodie Beauty. Even though weight loss content has definitely been a large part of both of their channels for the last 12 years.
I will be doing Jenny Craig again. I love the program. The 3 times prior, I didn't succeed in Jenny Craig, so what makes me think I'm gonna succeed in it now?
It's not the case today. Generally, if you hop online and see their content, you're probably gonna find something more along the lines of them sitting at a table and eating, sitting on a couch, and sometimes alcohol is involved.
Tastes even better. Oh my god, this tastes so good.
Maybe they are showing a grocery haul or trying on clothes from Torrid or Temu, that kind of thing. It's not very interesting, if I'm being totally honest. Not for me, at least. It's just not what I choose to watch. Amberlynn Reid right now is on a trip. She's visiting her girlfriend in a different state, so that's kind of interesting. There's a storyline going on there for sure. Chantal just went to Thailand for a full month, which you would think would be amazing. but she didn't leave her room like at all. Like 99.9% of the time she was in her hotel room ordering takeout, eating, and like just chatting with the people in her live chat. Looking at that again from a distance, right, from an outsider's point of view, it's like, okay, the content is pretty mundane. I'm bored, to be perfectly honest. And it doesn't seem like it's really hurting anyone for them just to really just be sitting there and eating their lives away. You know, yes, they're hurting themselves for sure. It's not healthy what they're doing. I don't know, what is the big deal? You know, I sat there and I'm like, okay, I get that this is, you know, unsuccessful weight loss. In fact, they're gaining hundreds of pounds instead of losing them. But why everybody so mad? Why is there an entire community of people who come after them, seemingly just like bullies, and there are entire communities dedicated to that? That's what I didn't get at first. What exactly is the big deal here? All right, so now that Amberlynn or Chantal have posted something, whether it be, you know, recorded content or having gone live, it is now time for the internet to internet. You know, do what it does best. If you put something out into the world for people to see, you best believe that a whole bunch of people are going to come and tell you what they think about it. That's just how it goes. And let me tell you, the comment sections and live chat for both of these women, mostly negative, a whole bunch of trolls, is pretty wild. And yes, of course there are going to be supporters. There are people who go to both of these people and I think honestly want them to succeed, and they offer them support and maybe some constructive criticism that they hope will be taken to heart. However, I would say that is maybe 5% of the people that show up. The rest are definitely not supporters. It's bad. The first time I saw a comment section on Amberlynn's page, I have never seen anything like it. It's the level of trolling, the amount of negativity, the laughing, the snarky remarks, the just downright bullying. Honestly, just like, I had no, and if that is all you knew, right? If that is all you were to see, were these really mundane posts by these two people, followed up by these horribly negative comments, I can absolutely see why a lot of people would look at that and go, wow, these two women are being bullied online. But of course, that is really just the beginning. The real action gets going when the many reaction channels and compilation channels, which are collectively known as Haydur Nation, pick up where the girls left off. Haydur Nation is dedicated to basically just pointing out just how horrible Amberlynn and Chantal really are.
This is why I think you're a liar, Amber.
You know, they are known as bullies.
I'm so embarrassed for her right now.
Trolls, haters, and are really deeply criticized as being fatphobic. But if you ask Haydur Nation, they'll tell you that weight has absolutely nothing to do with how they feel about these two women. In fact, a lot of them, not all of them, but many, actually started out as their supporters. Some people do remain supporters for longer than others. But as time goes on, the nature of the two women really starts to eat away at their kindness and understanding.
She is a narcissist through and through. Like, immediately after this whole entire sob story, that entire sob story was just to make you feel bad for her.
You know, they feel frustrated, disgusted, and angry at both of them, just based on their behavior.
Our poor dog was sick, and she can't even walk, and she can't even get on the bed, but we're gonna go to Walmart.
How they treat others and how they treat themselves, the lies they tell.
Something seems off here. A lot of things seem off here, actually.
Chantal, what the hell are you doing?
And they can really just no longer stand up for either of them because their behavior has just been that bad.
Tax evasion is not fraud, but it's kind of close, which you've also been doing.
I could go on and on and on, but as I said up front, I'm actually not going to get into all of those reasons today. That's going to be kind of the cliffhanger, right? If you want to know exactly why supporters turn into members of Haydur Nation, you're going to have to keep on watching elsewhere. But suffice it to say, it is a trend that people who start out as supporters eventually do become members of Haydur Nation. Now, when I say that there are these reaction and compilation channels, I am not just talking about like a few. No. There are, my voice, so many of these channels that are really just truly dedicated to the cause that I feel like I just keep finding more and more of them by the day. I'm sure that these are just a fraction of the ones that actually exist out there. I did my best though, so let's take a look at those. And that's not even all of them. As I said, there are so many channels out there that all make up this giant Haydur Nation. Also, I just realized it's hella late and I didn't realize just how long it was gonna take me to film this.
If I could change anything, it would be like your priorities.
Sorry about it. I will be wearing something different tomorrow and there shall be a lack of continuity. I think we can get through this together. See you tomorrow. Haydur Nation basically just spends its time pointing out, discussing, and investigating everything that the girls do and their constant poor behavior that they put so very publicly on display.
Honestly, I was so terrified. The FBI didn't know I lived here. Immediately, I end up calling the number that is on the FBI guy's FBI card. The woman picked up and she was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna call the FBI guy Frank. Why not?
Now don't get me wrong, it's not all entirely mean-spirited. Amberlynn can actually be kind of funny. I think that she's mostly funny unintentionally, but that might even make it more funny.
Are we staying until it's like black?
Yeah, why not?
Until it's dark time?
Dark time?
But as she likes to say, she's a quirky girl. Chantal, on the other hand, I find her less funny personally. I actually think she's more just like kind of angry and honestly pretty gross a lot of the time.
All right, guys, I gotta go poo-poos.
Let's just say Chantal is definitely not for the faint of heart.
Does this look like I give a shit face or what?
Some reaction channels are kinder than others, of course. And depending on your own level of anger and investment, you're definitely going to be able to find one that matches your own personality type and also is creating the type of content in the format that you most often like to consume. Now, some reaction channels just straight up create reaction content. So it'll be pre-recorded, and what they'll do is play one of the girls' videos in the background and pause it pretty often to layer in their own commentary. It's just kind of quips and opinions about whatever they're seeing on screen. Sometimes they'll ask questions to the audience and pose theories about what may or may not be happening in the future. There are also different types of compilation creators. So what they'll do is basically create highlights reels They'll pull out just the best parts of any given video so you can get a shorter version and you don't have to sit around and watch these, 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hour videos. Because the girls, let me tell you, if they go live especially, they can be 3 or 4 hours long. Not everybody wants to sit through that. So compilation creators will do that work for you and just pull out the best bits. Some compilation creators like to focus more on editing together clips from different videos throughout time. And what that enables them to do is to tell a specific story. They can point out inconsistencies in the girl's behavior or just general funny moments that make you angry. Really, you can just choose any theme you want and have at it. And believe me, I've seen a lot of different themes. They're pretty good at what they do, and I cannot imagine just the sheer number of hours that, all of these reaction channels are putting into this work.
What's happening?
And yet another type of channel is going to be one where the creator does retro reacts.
So let's do a little retro reacty poo here.
In a retro react, you're actually going to pull up one of the girl's older videos and do a reaction to that.
Racism, burning the flag, that's pretty equal.
Girl! She did not just fucking say that. Oh my god. How has she not been canceled yet? Jesus Christ. Oh my god. I'm afraid to press play.
And in doing so, watchers can be reminded of certain behaviors or events that, 3 months, 3 years, or 8 years ago may not have stood out at the time, but upon reflection with what we know today, you're seeing it in a whole new way.
Better than being eaten by a pack of wolves.
Whatever. It's kind of like, because you know the future, you can see the past in a new light.
There will be ads in this video because I want to donate all the proceeds, every single last penny that I make on this video towards Becky's mom.
Minnie, do you think maybe you could chew your bone in a different room? No? You'd prefer to stay here? Okay, great. Great news. Now, I would say the most spirited of the channels would be the one that does a live stream. And those channels go live several times per week. They'll pull up the latest video from Amberlynn or Chantal and react to it as usual, but now there's this added layer of a live chat.
Okay, now she's doing Dee Dee.
What that means is there's kind of this new dynamic environment where the creator is actually able to interact with their audience in real time.
I was the culprit behind the cute question, as I expected that gaslit answer from her. You sent in the "Is Jordy cute?" question?
And meanwhile, the chat is also discussing it amongst themselves. So it's always bouncing between anger and disbelief, snark, and there's just always a lot of laughter.
Oh my god, oh my god. What?
There's one reactor, oh lordy, it's Jordy. He has the best maniacal laugh I have ever heard.
I love it. I love it.
So the live streams end up becoming this really interesting blend of laughter and camaraderie.
Hey, hello, Amber stretched out choker. You're the one doing the real work.
With frustration and anger.
Take it down a notch. Stop acting like this.
And then sometimes it just turns to small talk when the content gets boring.
Jordy, you missed her picking her nose. Oh, we're gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to go. All right, what was the timestamp of her? I have to see that.
Sometimes it's just so mundane.
Could you imagine missing 2 minutes of this woman eating her food?
And even if the day-to-day content from the girls can be just painfully boring, the reaction channels and the communities are still busy just forming theories and investigating the side characters or researching the items that the girls are purchasing.
Oh, hell. This thing ain't long for this world. Chantal, you have to take this thing back. I don't know how much you paid for this or where you got this, but if this is the max user weight, no.
Somehow there is always something to theorize or discuss, even if it's making new content about old content.
Ew, is that a bug on her? What the?
Many people join every single stream, and every channel basically creates its own little community, complete with its own Discord and inside jokes.
I get it, like I look like a complete joke, but one thing I haven't done is like...
The people in these communities get so close that in between reaction videos, they'll actually just get together and hang out and have fun. You know, they'll hop on Twitch for karaoke parties or Roblox nights.
'Cause after midnight, I'm feeling kind of freaky, maybe it's the club lights.
They support and congratulate each other.
Jessica, thank you. I got the best grade in the class today on my anesthesia exam. Oh my gosh, congratulations to you, Jessica. That is awesome. Be making that big anesthesia money sometime soon.
And there is just gift giving left and right.
Bitch, this is good.
You know, in the form of super stickers to the creator, or it's gifted memberships to each other.
I want to see a full aviary in the chat room for Katie Bird's 10 gifted memberships. For Selena's 10 gifted memberships. Can we get some skull emojis and bunny emojis in the chat for Fatal Bunny's 10 gifted memberships?
And the vibe is just vibing. It feels like a party in there.
What's Tori gonna do without me?
I don't know, maybe it's just the shared trauma of it all, but to me, it feels like these communities are bonded together.
Say we were a pack of bison.
And they use GorlWorld as like one part group therapy, one part fun hangout, and one part distraction and escape.
Egg Allergy, thank you for becoming a member as well as sending in a super chat. First time sending one in. Have been a viewer for a couple years and always enjoy. Thanks for making me laugh after a tough day.
Okay, so now we've got the ecosystem all worked out, right? We've got the Amberverse and we've got Chantopolis and we've got all of Haydur Nation, each of which is just anxiously awaiting the next videos to come out of GorlWorld. And yes, that is a sentence I just said.
That's so gross.
Now stay with me though, because we're not quite finished. The drama itself doesn't actually end with the reaction channels. It actually extends out beyond them and somehow wraps all the way back around to the girls.
When she starts to apply a new layer of lipstick, you know she's pissy.
There are times when haters go undercover and lurk in the live chats of the girls.
Okay, can one of you haters please recruit him? I would die.
And then there are times when supporters of Amberlynn and Chantal go undercover in reaction channels live chats. And sometimes even the girls themselves will be lurking in the reaction channels, but they of course would never admit that they're doing that. However, they have been caught using sock accounts in the past.
Amberlynn could not handle the fact that she had no control over what people were saying about her. So she decided to infiltrate this group. And you want to know how she did this? She did this by catfishing. So this is Damon White. I was in that group. I remember being in that group. I remember communicating with this person and being like, God, this guy's fucking annoying, because he was always there. In every single comment, he was fucking there. And then he would gaslight people and then turn it around. This person was Amberlynn Reid. This is Amberlynn Reid talking to the person, asking for the login information for Damon White.
There are times when a side character, for instance, has called into a reaction channel and given a live interview.
And I'm definitely not going to say what she has said about her mother to me. I'm not going to say that because I have respect for people's family.
And then there's this, which I'm not even going to try to explain.
And there I go with all my beard oil.
Oh, and even more wild than that, there have been times when, like, in-person events and investigations have taken place. It's called cow tipping. In order for Haydur Nation to prove theories or just catch girls in lies or, whatever other reasons they might have to take things offline. Now, cow tipping, for obvious reasons, is highly controversial, but it absolutely does happen. One of the most well-known examples of cow tipping was when one of Chantal's cats was rescued by a watcher.
Bye, BBJ.
She's willingly handing off her cat to somebody.
So that, everybody, was my brother at the bottom of that staircase.
Haydur Nation is generally very worried about the well-being of both Chantal's and Amberlynn's pets, especially Twinkie. She's very, very beloved in the community. Twinkie is Amberlynn's dog.
I personally will fly off the handle if Twinkie was abandoned for a feeder. Hell hath no fury like an abandoned pet on a Geordie's live stream. Just saying.
And don't even get me started on the investigations that take place off of YouTube and on other social media platforms. If you want to dive into GorlWorld, you can learn all about that on your own. Ugh, my head is starting to hurt. GorlWorld is wild. We're almost done, I promise. You might be wondering what Amberlynn and Chantal think about the reaction channels in general. And I'm not actually talking about the criticism itself, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. Remember, we're not just talking about side gigs here. These are full-time jobs, and not just for Amberlynn and Chantal, but for some of the reaction channels too. It's just not as cut and dry as you might think.
Surprisingly, people want me to react to reaction channels.
At first thought, from the outside, if you haven't really been involved in GorlWorld whatsoever, you're probably going to think that, both Amberlynn and Chantal truly hate all the reaction channels because, they hurt their feelings at the end of the day and maybe they feel bullied.
Who else do I have to block?
The hate itself coming out of Haydur Nation, it seems to be growing stronger by the day, both in numbers and intensity.
If you do something on the internet, GorlWorld's going to find out about it. Everything that's done in the dark comes to light in GorlWorld.
But who's to know? They actually deny that they hate the criticism and say it doesn't actually get to them on a regular basis. But beyond the criticism, what they're really going to hate is the fact that they're claiming Haydur Nation is stealing the viewers from them. And remember, viewers equals money. Less viewers, less income. So, on a particularly bad day, Chantal and Amberlynn might go on, a false copyright strike bender where even if the reaction channel's content falls under fair use, they're going to go after them in hopes of getting the revenue from their videos. But without Haydur Nation, I actually think that both Chantal and Amberlynn's channels would actually be performing worse. Stay with me here. Most of the time, outside of GorlWorld, if you stop enjoying a channel, you just unsubscribe. You unfollow, you move on, you never give it a second thought. But in this world, you don't leave. You just transition right on into Haydur Nation instead.
Ex-Beezers, if you feel comfortable doing so, show yourselves in the chat.
And sure, there are some people who refuse to give Amberlynn and Chantal their view and instead will only watch the content through a reaction channel.
Warm feminine touch, she calls it.
However, there are also a whole other set of haters that they want to know the drama as soon as it drops. And so they're going to watch Chantal and Amberlynn firsthand. That way they can bring whatever questions or theories they have to reaction channels when they have a live stream or, to the comment section on a video. Think about it. That's why there are so many hateful comments on Amberlynn and Chantal's content. Haydur Nation is there and they're hate watching. There's also the case of reaction channels bringing new viewers to GorlWorld in general. Because they're so popular, a reaction channel definitely has the potential of showing up on your homepage long before any video from either Amberlynn or Chantal. And because of it, a lot of people would never have found either of them or been introduced to GorlWorld in general without the reaction channels. I'm pretty sure that's how I found my way into GorlWorld in the first place as well. I can't remember what video it was, but it definitely wasn't one from the girls directly. I think it might have been Mr. Snowflake, but I just can't remember. Oh, here's Minnie. Minnie Waffles the corgi. What I'm trying to say here is that I am completely distracted by my corgi. What was I saying? Oh, the reaction channels are really doing a lot to keep the girls relevant, and it ends up in this love-hate relationship. Now, of course, the girls are going to sit there and claim that the reaction channels would be absolutely nowhere without them, but if there's an internet, there's going to be internet nonsense. That's just how it is. So I think that reaction channels would actually ultimately be fine. They would just find a new lolcow to move on to and keep on talking. Hello? Still with me? Hi. I know, this is a long one. Can't say I didn't warn you though. This is a lot of nonsense.
Mods?
So GorlWorld, in my humble opinion, is either the best live action, choose your own adventure, interactive soap opera that is orchestrated by narcissists who love to keep their audience hungry, or it is just really a dark, true story of addiction and illness and truly despicable behavior that is being funded by a totally captivated audience that loves to feed into the drama. Or honestly, maybe it's both. Now, if your morbid curiosity is taking over and you still want to dive into GorlWorld, listen, I get it. I would suggest not just starting to watch either Chantal or Amberlynn or even any of the reaction channels. Instead, maybe consider starting with a deep dive. Of course, there are plenty of deep dives out there, but there are a few channels who I think did a particularly great job of diving into all the drama and the history of their relationships and Haydur Nation and allegations. If you're curious about the Amberverse, Mr. Snowflake has this wildly in-depth documentary series that is over 20 episodes long, I do believe. It's called Shaped by the Algorithm, and it absolutely goes into minute detail of all of Amberlynn's history. What's particularly interesting about it, in my opinion, is that he actually started creating the series with little to no knowledge about Amberlynn. So you see him go into it with a blank canvas and maybe even some optimism. And as he creates each new video, you can kind of see how his opinion of it all just changes over time. Now, oddly enough, as I was recording this video, Coffee and Colt, who I literally just created a video about here on this channel, she also put out her own deep dive on the Amberverse. It's just over 2 hours long, so it's certainly less of a time commitment than you're gonna have to make to Mr. Snowflake. And just like the rest of her videos, this was fabulous. It did not disappoint. If you'd like to start off in Chantopolis, Septa7 has a great two-part series on Foodie Beauty. She basically describes how Chantal built up her very angry following and now ultimately is destroying it. And bonus mention, you should also check out Megan Ann. I'm not too familiar with her channel, although I will be checking it out some more based on the video I just watched of hers. But she also has a few videos on both Amberlynn and Chantal. I will leave a link to her channel along with Septa7, Coffee and Cults, and Mr. Snowflake series in the description below, along with all the other sources that I've taken clips from to create this video. And of course, there are so many other channels out there that have deep dives and video essays and reactions to GorlWorld.
Greed, indulgence, material loss, stubborn, obsessed with wealth and status, financially inept. I'm so sorry. This is not looking good. Who knows? We'll see what the final card is, but this is damn.
I've only just barely scratched the surface in this video, so I'm hoping that I've been able to give you a great place to start, and you can now venture out on your own into this wild universe of never-ending content. But it's definitely not for everyone. It can even be a bit triggering at times.
The way that she kind of jabs at Becky is really disturbing to me.
So think of your mental health before diving in. It could suck you in before you can say, dark time. And that brings me to today's reminder. Today's reminder: don't crawl into the dark corners of the internet expecting to find light. Let me know you made it to the end of this video by leaving me an SOS emoji in the comments below. Because please, send help. And if you already knew about GorlWorld, but you still watched this video, first of all, thank you. But also, let me know what you thought about it in the comments and whether or not you think I missed anything. Today's shout out goes to these fine folks right here. You left some really nice comments over the last few weeks, and I wanted to let you know that I appreciate your kind words. If you're looking for a way to support this channel, all you need to do is hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, or share this video. I am a brand new channel, so any help I can get with the algorithm makes a big difference. Now, if you are still looking for another creator to binge on right now, you can watch one of these two videos right here. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
A disrespectful piece of shit.